Hello, everyone. I have to talk about student loans. I'll just say that I worked in the student loan industry for over a decade, so I know a little bit about it. Let's say it's in the news, and in 2020, of course, payments were suspended because of the pandemic. Well, now that's over. That emergency is over, supposedly. And it's time to start making payments again. Now, there are some statistics to look at here. And I realize that not much has changed since at least 2007. Not really. There is an accumulated debt now of about $1.6 trillion to begin. And there are about 5 million student loans that are in what's called default. That means that they are so far delinquent that the delinquency period ended, so now it goes into collection, and there's just all kinds of crazy interest that gets charged to that. Just like with credit cards, additional costs though are added on top of that. It's excessive interest because there's already interest accumulating on all student loans. There are 43 million student loans currently, and of the 43 million, 4 million are also in a high delinquency status, which means they're 91 to 180 days delinquent. So how many more of those loans will we see going into default? Now, there's a lot of students that are in deferment statuses on their loans for various reasons. Now, there's no interest really being charged in deferment. A couple examples would be education deferment. If you're continuing your education, they're like if people are working on their master's degree or their second master's degree, which I hear about, then you can put it into deferment status while you're going through that process. And no additional interest is being added to your account. There's also what's called the total temporary disability deferment. And what that is, it's definitely temporary deferment, payment suspension because of, let's say you're injured and you are also on workers' comp and that kind of thing. You can, and you're unable to work because of a disability, you can also temporarily suspend your payments that way without penalty of additional interest. And there used to be what's called the economic hardship deferment. I would think that it still exists. I hope it does. And again, additional months, if you can prove that you have low income or definitely economic hardship circumstances, you can be put in deferment with no additional interest. There's also what's called forbearance, which is when you run out of deferment or you're not eligible for deferment for one reason or another. It also postpones the payments, but it accumulates interest. Not as much as the defaulted loan would be in collection, but you still have additional interest that's compounding and being added on to your balance the longer you delay it. And there's a limit. There had been like 12 months, but there were periods of time where there were what were called mandatory forbearances because that was seen, extending the forbearance time, adding more interest onto your account was seen as a better option than going into default. Of course, that's all, hypothetical. Obviously, in other words, it's all about making money, profits, right, in command. That's the primary thing. It's not, helping students or people get an education. It's about making a profit. I mean, that's what this system is all about, right? Which again leads me to the Center for Political Innovation and why we need a government of action for the working families to start benefiting more. What's wrong with Jubilee? Isn't that in the Bible? Isn't that even in the Torah? Forgiving debt, as we would forgive our debtors, as the expression goes. So, but that's not how our system is set up. Our system is set up to where growth is for those at the top, and everyone else has to experience what's called degrowth. And that's just the way it is, because we can't have a centrally planned government that allows healthcare or education or even food and water and safe, realistic shelter. We can't allow any of that to be free and accessible to everyone, right? As a human right even. And it should be. Of course, Caleb Maupin says, centrally planned economic projects should not involve fun things, the things that we do for fun. But the things that are basic necessities, right? Requirements, and why not have a comfortable life for everyone, right? It's the right thing to do. Again, that's why we need a movement to demand a government of action for the working families. And we need what is in the CPI 4-point economic plan. Have a great day.